Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at a very serious problem with TikTok that has apparently been going on for well over a year, and we have sources from the United States that are talking about this as far as almost a year ago back, and then now apparently also the issue is being discovered to be much more of a globalized problem. It's kind of scary, honestly, how even with all these thousands of miles of distance in between these places and whatnot, it seems like there's a pretty common theme with this problem occurring on TikTok. It seems like it's happening the exact same way. The problems are the exact same types of problem. They're involving the same exact groups of people, but it's somehow happening on a global scale here. But it's more localized in each instance, it appears. It's very unfortunate, but obviously over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of conversations about banning TikTok here in the United States. Now, granted, those conversations aren't being had for the same reasons as what we're going to take a look at here today, but one of the things that we hear pretty frequently during these debates is that TikTok is an unsafe platform. You can't control what people are doing on there. It's dangerous right now. It's gotten so bad that TikTok Live has essentially in some places been turned into quote-unquote virtual strip clubs involving minors. So the first thing we're going to take a look at here is actually a lawsuit that was filed back in June of 2024. I think this went pretty under the radar. I never heard about it. I'm going to assume the vast majority of you also did not hear about this lawsuit here. Now, this is from the Utah Governor Spencer Cox and their Attorney General Sean Reyes. So Utah Governor Spencer Cox and Attorney General Sean Reyes announced a lawsuit today that alleges TikTok has consciously allowed young people to be sexually exploited on the TikTok platform in exchange for money. The suit contends that a live streaming feature on the TikTok app called TikTok Live lets adult users give TikTok currency to young users in exchange for sexual solicitation and exploitation, while the company takes a cut of each payment. This filing marks the second lawsuit against the company by Utah's Division of Consumer Protection through the Utah Attorney General's office. In October 2023, the state filed a consumer protection case against TikTok for intentionally designing and deploying addictive features to hook young users into endless use of the app. During the course of the division's ongoing investigation, it became clear that the dangers TikTok poses to children are not limited to its addictive algorithm, but also include an open door policy for criminals to prey on users, particularly minors, through the TikTok Live feature. The new complaint alleges that TikTok coupled its live stream feature with monetization to create an environment built on exchanging TikTok's currency for illegal acts. TikTok's own internal studies and the admissions of its employees document how TikTok Live has allowed adults to pay young users to strip, pose, and dance provocatively for currency that can be cashed out for real money. As these users are sexually exploited, the complaint alleges that TikTok takes as much as a 50% commission on every transaction on Live, allowing TikTok to reap exorbitant profits, which amount to millions of dollars in Utah alone. Furthermore, TikTok's alleged profiteering does not stop at child sexual exploitation. The complaint claims that TikTok's live stream feature, along with its virtual currency, has allowed criminals to freely launder money, host illegal gambling rings, sell drugs, and fund terrorism. Now, these are some pretty significant claims that were made in this lawsuit. And like I said, this was already filed almost a year ago, and I don't think that it really got the attention that it probably deserved, because like I said, these are some pretty fucking insane allegations that are being brought up here. Now, you might think this is like some one-off instance where it's like, oh, they found out what's going on, maybe something has been done about it, maybe this problem has been taken care of, but no. There is a new report from BBC that is basically insinuating that this problem is happening on at least a global scale here. Now, this lawsuit took place here in the United States, more particularly in Utah, but this BBC report about to take a look at here too is saying that this issue is not only still going on, but it appears that in other areas of the world, it may be even more commonplace. It may be even more of like a real thing going on. More particularly, this part of the issue was found in Kenya, out in Africa, but obviously if it's happening in the United States as far back as a year ago, according to lawsuits, now they're uncovering it happening in Kenya, I would imagine this can happen damn near anywhere in the world, and it probably is happening almost anywhere in the world. In some of the live streams we watched, coded sexual slang was used to advertise sexual services. The emoji gifts act as payment for the TikTok live streams, and because TikTok removes any obvious sexual acts and nudity, also the more explicit content sent later on other platforms. The gifts can be converted into cash. Quote, "It's not in TikTok's interest to clamp down on soliciting of sex. The more people give gifts on a live stream, the more revenue for TikTok, says a Kenyan former moderator we're calling Joe, one of more than 40,000 moderators TikTok says it employs globally. TikTok has been long aware of child exploitation in its live streams, having run its own internal investigation in 2022, but ignored the issue because it, quote, profited significantly from them. According to the claims of a lawsuit brought by the US state of Utah last year, that's what we just took a look at, by the way, TikTok responded to that lawsuit, which is ongoing, ignored the proactive measures it had made to improve safety. Kenya is a hotspot for this abuse, says the charity Child Fund Kenya, compounded by a young demographic and widespread internet usage. The African continent as a whole also has poor online moderation compared to Western countries, the charity added. So if you're not really understanding exactly what's going on here, right? So across the world, there is obviously like a bunch of people using TikTok and TikTok Live. Now, most of the usage, I would assume, is quite normal, right? You got people on there just like talking to the chat or maybe playing video games. Usually when I see like a TikTok Live pop up, it's people playing like fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Or playing video games, something like that, right? But apparently, while all of this semi-normal content is happening on the surface, there is this like underground market basically for, as these articles and these lawsuits suggest, people to go on there and they like strip, they proactively dance and whatnot on these streams. And imagine it like Twitch if you don't use TikTok, right? You can like donate bits or like money or whatever to your favorite streamers. Well, the same thing is basically happening on TikTok, right? They got these like built-in little emojis or whatever that you can pay currency for through the TikTok platform to send to people, and when they get these gifts, as they're called, they can eventually cash them out for real money. So basically, there are children all over the world who are like stripping, they're doing sexual shit on TikTok, and there's a worldwide network of people, primarily adults, who are paying for this shit. Basically, fucking pedophiles are running around on TikTok Live having little kids dance for them and shit. It's a pretty fucking disgusting reality. And like I said, for all the things that we hear about TikTok, how it's unsafe, how you can't monitor it, you know, it's a foreign adversary app, whatever, you never really seem to hear anything about this. Now, I made a video a long time ago talking about another social media platform called Kick. I don't know if you guys remember that texting app from way back in the day. That was like iPhone touch days or iPod touch days for me, man. But there was something kind of similar going on there, right? Where children were essentially engaging in like selling their own naked pictures and shit to these weirdos. So this is something that happens on social media and people don't seem to realize it. Obviously, I feel like you probably have to go very far out of your way to find this kind of content anyway. It is obviously very niche, very underground kind of market. Not only does TikTok try to stop sexual content on the platform, but also given the fact that they're literally fucking children in this instance, right, it doesn't make anything any better here. So obviously, I don't think I should really have to explain the problem that is unfolding here, really, you know. This is something that just simply shouldn't be happening. There should be more crackdown on it, but the problem here is there's really two major obstacles, it seems like, in terms of TikTok being able to moderate this kind of content, do something about it, kick these people off the platform, assist investigations into the predators who are buying this shit. Number one, TikTok is a global platform and it's got probably billions of fucking users across the planet now. So the odds are it's pretty much impossible to fully 100% maintain what exactly is going on your platform. We see the same thing with like YouTube, Facebook, all these other social medias. Once you get so big, no matter how many like automated filters you put in, no matter how many staff members you have, you can't catch 100% of everything. But obviously this is a problem that could still use some sort of crackdown on, because they haven't even gotten close to a fraction, it seems like, of banning the people who are doing this shit here. Now, the number two issue with this is, as the lawsuit in Utah alleges here, and as we all know from common sense, TikTok is making quite a bit of fucking money off of this, and it's pretty disgusting. It's pretty unfortunate to think about the idea that children are literally stripping on TikTok, and TikTok is just making buku money from it or whatever, but that is the obvious reality, because it's like any other platform. When you buy these gifts or whatever, in this instance, the predators who are buying gifts to give to like 15-year-old girls stripping for them, weird shit, right? A cut of the money that you use to purchase that gift or whatever is given to TikTok. Now, obviously, some of the money is going to go to the person that you're donating to or whatever, but like here on YouTube, for instance, if you give like a super chat or something to your favorite creator during a live stream, YouTube takes 30% of that money right off the top. That's like their fee for the platform. platform, doing the transaction, all that kind of shit, and then you get the 70%. I think that's the same percentage payout on TikTok. I might be wrong about that. I really don't use the platform to create any content or anything, so if that is the case, then let's say these pedophiles or whatever are spending $10 to send to somebody. That would mean every time one of these transactions is going down, TikTok is making $3, okay? And it could be a little bit less, a little bit more, but the point still stands that obviously a lot of money is changing hands here, and TikTok, they're getting a good cut of it. So as a business, even though there is like a moral obligation, like you want to protect children, a legal obligation, you got to protect people, there is no financial incentive for TikTok to really give a fuck about this problem. Now, the scary part I'm realizing here is, here in the United States, it seems like this issue is at least being somewhat addressed by someone. I mean, the entire state of Utah has already filed a lawsuit and they've already been calling this shit out. It isn't getting the attention I think it deserves, but it's out there, right? But over in places like Kenya, where this is also taking place, these places are a lot less developed. They have a lot less, according to the article here, internet moderation staff and shit like that. So their resources to actually like target and go after this shit, it's way different than like it would be here, man. I have to assume way more people are getting away with this shit in Kenya than in other places like, you know, the US or whatever. Now, the scarier part even to think about there with that is, obviously, a good portion of the people who live in Kenya are impoverished. They are living in poverty. They are not making ends meet very well. So for them, when you become like a teenager, the horrible reality of this is, this probably seems like a pretty lucrative concept, right? You're like, well, I can actually make some money doing this. I can actually fucking try and get ahead in life by doing this. But from what this article is suggesting, I guess they found some of the like children who were doing this and then inevitably grew out of it or whatever once they got older and stopped doing it. And it really doesn't seem like they're getting anything out of it like worthwhile. So even though they're being sexually exploited by these predators and by these platforms, it doesn't really even seem like they feel like they're getting ahead in the long run, and they grow to end up regretting it. Quote, "I sell myself on TikTok. I dance naked. I do that because that's where I can earn money to support myself," says a 17-year-old we're calling Esther. She lives in a poor Nairobi neighborhood where 3,000 residents share toilet facilities. She says the money helps her buy food for her child and support her mother, who's been struggling to pay the rent since her father died. She said she was 15 when she was introduced to TikTok Lives by a friend who helped her bypass the age restrictions. Only over 18s can use a live. Users also need at least 1,000 followers to go live. So TikTok users with a big following can act as digital pimps, hosting the live stream selling sexual content. Some of them have backup accounts indicating they've been banned or suspended by TikTok in the past. So this is the scary and sad reality of it here, man, is not like these kids, obviously they're in like a trying time in their life. They don't know what to do. A lot of them, they feel like their backs are against the wall, and then they have people who are essentially now introducing them to this, like, oh, hey, you could make money doing this even though you're only 15 years old, right? And apparently these people have turned into like TikTok pimps, and they're like actually pimping children out basically on these accounts that they're creating, including sock accounts in case they get banned, so that they can all make money from doing this. It's a really fucking disgusting turn of events here, as you can see. I mean, I don't think any person in normal circumstances would even think that this is like actually what's going on. I mean, obviously there's a lot of stupid shit on TikTok. A lot of people refuse to use TikTok because it's just like stupid dancing and a lot of other idiotic shit or whatever. But this here, man, this has taken it to a whole different level. And the problem is, like I said, it doesn't appear that anyone with the power to do anything either knows about the issue or really seems to give a fuck about the issue here. TikTok, you know, they're doing the bare minimum. It appears like they're banning some of these accounts. They're trying their best to like cover up some of it looks like. But once again, the financial incentive to really dive into this problem and knock it completely out and like work with the authorities or whatever, it's really not there on TikTok's side. So this is just like a sad portion of reality in the modern world here, man. Like, we think this internet shit is all fun and games and cool and whatever. Like, oh, I'm gonna log on and have some fun, watch some cool videos on TikTok. But what we don't realize is the entire time in the background, this kind of dystopian shit is what's happening beyond the surface level in communities that people don't just, you know, get recommended or see. You know, it's like being hidden away. It's a really fucking scary thing, man. So I just wanted to talk about this and hopefully shed some light on it. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @subtooptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, talking about TikTok's child exploitation problem and signing out.